loud because I think I'm loud. God damn it, I'm loud by nature. When a loud person thinks he's loud, bro, you're loud. Turn that crap down just a little bit, man. But yo, man, it is your boy West Coast, man. How are y'all doing on this mighty Tuesday? This is a Tuesday. It kind of has that Wednesday-ish feel to it, though. I ain't gonna lie. But today is still a Tuesday, man. And on this great Tuesday, man, I got two of the most intellectual Cowboy fans and Cowboy content creators that I can find to come up here and slide up in here with your boy and talk about these Cowboys before we get off to training camp, man, because you guys know tomorrow we will be kicking it off with the training camp show live 2 times a day, man. West Coast is going to bring you that content, man. So, hey, man, I got some of my homeboys up here, man. Hey, man, I'm actually related to a couple of these dudes. I say a couple of them because there's only 2 of them, man. But you know how I be, man. I'm related to the dude on the right, you know what I'm saying, by legals. And then the dude on the left, man, we didn't been in so many games together. So I guess you can say you know how it is, man. We go together. Feel me? If we go together, we lose. We watch it get Cowboys get put out the playoffs. We cousins, man. That's just what it is. This is how we go. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
Trauma bond.
For real, man. You bond after a loss.
Right. Facts.
After a win, I'd be like, bro, where you going, West Coast? I'm going to go party. Hell, you mean? After a loss, we'd be like, Tuck, where you going? Oh, man, I'm about to go sit down for a minute.
I'm already at the crib,
man.
Yeah,
I'm at the crib, man.
Wes texted me after that playoff loss, like, hey, man, you about to go live? Absolutely not. I'm done, bro. I'm out of here.
What he said. That's exactly what he said. I think it's funny, bro, because, like, hey, Tuck, on my mama, like, I think, like, everybody who flew into Dallas was literally trying to see, is there a way I can get out of here tonight?
Is there a way to go right now, bro? I
like, is there a way
right then and there?
Yeah, is there a way I can get out of here tonight? You know what I'm saying? Like I was literally prepared to do it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yo, man, we just small talking it up right now. But man, I'm gonna let everybody introduce themselves, man. You already know who I am, man. It's your boy West Coast, man. The hostess with the mostest, the Cowboy fan you love to talk about and talk with, man. Not the one that owes you $20, but the one that's always gonna be talking about them Cowboys. It's your boy West Coast live in the building, man. Hey, J Tuck, I just introduced you, but go ahead and introduce yourself again, man.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy J Tuck. You can find me on my YouTube channel, CFO Sports, and then also J Tuck 151 on all social media platforms.
Hey, and then right beside you, man, who we got in the building, man?
Hey, man, it's Henny the Moore. You can catch me on Facebook and Twitter under the same handle. And sure, I'm working on the YouTube page right now, so let's tune in, chop it up with me.
Oh, okay. Sound good. Now, Henny, I'm going to kind of put you out there a little bit, man. My boy Henny said, oh, J Tuck on here, man. I'm going to have to be all professional. I said, what the hell that mean? What the hell that supposed to mean? What the hell that supposed to mean?
Man, just do your thing, man. Do your thing.
What to say, man? You got to hang out with Tuck a little bit more. He got a little ratchet side to him, I promise you, man.
People don't know that, man.
I promise, man. He got a little ratchet side. Y'all don't believe it. Like, put it to you like this. There's whenever you see that, you know that dude, because I'm rowdy and I'm all about it and I'm all da-da-da-da-da some boozy bays, right? Mm-hmm. But if Tuck can be my friend, and friends typically have stuff in common, just saying, man. I'm just saying. Just saying. Chuck might be a little ratchet when you get him out here with everybody else. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. But yo, man.
You got them gears.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. But hey, man, I appreciate everybody that's tuning in on the YouTubes of the world. I appreciate all my YouTubers. Shout out to all my Facebookers, the bookers of the world. And shout out to all my people that's watching on Twitter. Yeah, I'm on Twitter. Shout out to my Twiggers, man. I appreciate y'all for watching and tuning in, watching this Cowboy content, man. I already know what it is. Let's jump right into it, man. Hey, right to it, man. Hey, listen. I made a video today, man, and listen to me, man. Training camp starts tomorrow. My daddy told me this. He coined this statement. My daddy once told me, he said, son, in life, you'd rather be pissed off than pissed on, right? Well, today, after the Jerry Jones interview, I felt a little moisture on the back of my neck, you know what I'm saying? Because I felt like somebody had pissed me off for sure, and then I also felt like I got a little pissed on. You know what I'm saying? Jerry Jones did one of his infamous numbers of saying way too damn much. Congratulations, Jerry Jones. Everybody clap it up for Jerry Jones for telling everybody exactly what you're thinking at all times. Appreciate you, Jerry Jones, because that's not, the social media, that's what they want. They always want the truth. Like when he kind of candidly told us that the Dallas Cowboys made financial decisions based off availability. So I'm like, damn, if you made financial decisions based off availability, that means we're going to have a whole team full of perfect attendant dudes, right? That's what I'm thinking, right? Because Jerry Jones made this statement, and I do declare he said this. He said, you know what, Welch? free agency in 2022 had a lot to do with availability. Now, it's just not availability of being available, but it also has to do with how you got to that availability. Because, the availability is good, but if you're not available, then the reason for we're not being available, that comes into play. And I'm just sitting up here thinking like, damn, if he's saying that, I know for sure Kelvin Joseph about to get cut tomorrow. If he's saying that, I know for sure Michael Gallop. I'm like, damn, how he gonna say that about Michael Gallop, bro? You just signed him.
Right.
How LVE? You gonna say that about LVE and you just gave him a contract? How you gonna listen to me? DeMarcus Lawrence, you my dog, so don't swing on me when I say that. How you gonna say that about DeMarcus Lawrence? And you just gave him 3 years, $30 million. But J Tuck, Henny Dog, would you believe that he wasn't talking about none of them dudes, bruh?
You talk about somebody ain't even on the team.
He was not talking about now one of them dudes. J Tuck, I want to know real quick, man, since you the guest on the building, man, who was he talking? Who do you think he was talking about? Because technically he didn't say a name. We can all say he didn't say a name. But who do you think he's? I mean, you a blogger, you nosy like me, you a professional nosiner. Who do you think he was talking about?
Yeah, I think everything was aimed directly at Amari Cooper. And the reason why I said that is because I just dropped a video recently about it, is that it couldn't have been Randy Gregory he was talking about, who hasn't been available, throughout his entire career except last season, because they matched that offer in Denver. So it couldn't be him that you guys were trying to move on from, right? So it had to be Amari Cooper that he was kind of taking these shots at, whether it's about, the vaccination situation and whatnot. But I think everything that he was saying was aimed at Amari Cooper, because I think that was the pressing question that everyone wanted to ask. And I had tweeted that during the press conference. I just needed one Dallas Cowboy media person. And I was proud of the job they did today. They did a much better job this camp than they did last year.
Facts.
But for someone kind of raise their hand and be like, hold on, but why did you sign a Michael Gallup and he wasn't available last year?
You don't even know when he's going to be available.
Right. You don't even know when he's going to be available, right? LVE finally just had his first season of availability, but y'all signed him. Amari Cooper's missed, 2 games since he's been with Dallas?
Facts.
So when you say availability, Jerry, what does that mean? And that's when they say, someone comes tap me on the back shoulder, Wes, and I'm like, all right, bro, you got to get up out your seat. They walk me out the back exit. What I'm saying? You're not supposed to ask those type of questions, but that was the first thing I thought about. All right, so who are you talking about? Because the player that you got rid of that everyone's going to ask you about was one of your most available players. He played through injury and all. So it couldn't be about availability. And if you want to talk about Randy Gregory in that situation, then why did you match the offer from Denver in the first place versus just letting him walk? Now, maybe you can put it to Lyle Collins, will apply it there, but the main 2 people that we're focusing on this offseason, it doesn't really rock with me.
Any dog, what's your thoughts, man? Let me hear what you sipping on over there, man. Let me talk to me, man.
Man, I'm just sipping on some juice right now, but hey, they finna make me start back drinking. All this bull, they be trying to finesse and pass over, but we all know they were talking about Amari Cooper, man, and he made it pretty publicly known that he was peeved by him not getting vaccinated.
Facts.
And it's sad that he would even question his availability when Amari Cooper has consistently played through bone spurs and all plantar fasciitis and all kinds of injuries that usually would sideline a wide receiver. So this man has played through injury, has been available, has been a top 10 receiver in the league, just numbers wise, in his tenure in Dallas. And people forget how much the Dallas Cowboys offense struggled before he got here. Facts. We were barely scoring 20 points a game, in that 8-game stretch before he became a Dallas Cowboy. We were a 3-5 team before he became a Dallas Cowboy back in 2018. We were still questioning whether or not Dak Prescott was a franchise quarterback before Amari Cooper got on this team. So it really rubbed me the wrong way that he would even fix his mouth to talk about that, man, when he put in so much work and added so much value to your team. Now, I get it. You would love for your player to be available, and you would hope that they would make a sacrifice. You can't always depend on somebody to put something they don't know about in their body just for the sake of the team.
Facts.
Right. And I want to kind of piggyback off of that when it comes to the vaccinations. I know a lot of people talk about that when it comes to Coop, but jog my memory, y'all. Didn't Zach Martin miss the opening game?
Yep.
Due to COVID? And he was vaccinated. So even if Amari Cooper was vaccinated, there was a big possibility that he could still miss games throughout the season because it happened to numerous players. And so I don't know why they're trying to hold that against Amari Cooper that he didn't get vaccinated. It wasn't like he missed 4 to 5 games, missed the playoffs. That could have happened to anybody. I think what may have happened is they may have came to Amari about it, and he may have gave them a response that they wasn't willing to accept, and then might have ruffled some feathers. But I was like, Amari Cooper missed Kansas City, he missed the Raiders game, and then he was back. Like Zach Martin missed games. Like a lot of people miss games due to COVID. Coaches miss players due to COVID.
Yep.
And so I just don't understand the big frustration when it comes to Amari Cooper. If vaccination is the thing that they really want to hold him to, I think there was more going on behind the scenes.
Can I ask you guys a question real quick? And I'm gonna come right back to you, Henny, because when you watch that interview, does he? Can I take this conversation a little higher than just the vaccination?
Go ahead.
I feel like this is bigger. This is more about an employer telling an employee something and said employee not doing it. Because, bro, he took several shots at Amari Cooper. This was just the most obvious one. You know what I'm saying? But he took several shots at Amari Cooper throughout this press conference. And so I'm going to be honest with you, I definitely believe that Amari Cooper was a get him out of here by any means. And I honestly believe they just took whatever the first deal, because, bro, if you trade Amari Cooper on the trade on draft day, you get more than what you got for him.
Yeah.
You get more than what you got for him.
Right.
You got to think about it. You gave up a first-round pick for Amari Cooper, and his numbers over the season and a half when you traded for him were nowhere close to the production he had the last 3 years.
Well, think about this. Think about the draft capital that the Chiefs got for trading Tyreek Hill, what they would have gave up just to bring in Amari Cooper. We probably at least could have got a third.
Facts.
Because they had such a huge overhaul, and you go back and you listen to the Amari Cooper interview that he did the other day. You put on the vaccination thing, you put on the fact that Amari Cooper was never a Jerry guy, right? Because he's never the type of guy that's going to, cling to the front office.
Nope.
Right. And then you also add the fact that Amari Cooper said out his own mouth, like, hey, throughout the season, I was going to them telling like, hey, this isn't going to work against quality playoff opponents that we're going to need to see. And we all know when you call it the offense and you start speaking publicly, they don't like that. It's just like they have this corporate mindset. They want you to kind of shut up and do your job, but don't you dare buck the system and then try to find ways to get you out of there. And that's unfortunately what happened to Amari Cooper. But now it puts our offense in a situation, which I'm sure we're about to talk about here in a second.
Kind of reminds you of a Des Bryant-ish situation. Go ahead, Tony.
Yep.
Nah, man, just it was probably a combination of a bunch of little things with Jerry, because it was probably partly about the vaccine, partly about publicly asking about more targets. I believe it's a combination of things, because once you ruffle the front office feathers, only a matter of time before they get you out of there. And we saw that they love Dez way more than they ever would have love for Amari Cooper. We saw how they got him out. They got him out of the picture.
Yeah, and one thing this is the thing. It's like we've all been young men. We've all dated pretty girls, and if you've ever had to, you get to a point of a pretty girl when you be like, I don't give a damn. I don't want to be with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, you just don't even see them. Like, you know what I'm saying? People be like, well, Kanye still won't Kim. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? You hear about it all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dang, oh my God, if I had that woman, I would never leave her until you have her, bruh. Until you have her. And I'm going to be honest with you, like, I think it's sad. Like, it's a sad day in America where somebody can rub Jerry Jones a wrong way, but just them by them being themselves. Like, if you think about it, Cooper never actually did anything that was warranted to be wrong. The only thing Cooper ever did was he was himself. Like, he said no. He said no. Like, what's the problem with saying no? Jerry Jones says that the buck stops with him all the time. He says it all the time. So it's like, my issue with Cowboy fans is like, sometimes Cowboy fans, you guys won't give players the same credit that you give Jerry Jones. If Jerry Jones says no to a player, then hey, you know what? We move on. But a player can't do that. Can't have that same business smarts. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm gonna just be honest with you. It's like in 2022, you still. I mean, listen, bruh. Folks were smoking cigarettes for 50 years before they put a label on the side of it, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real with you, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's right or I'm not saying it's wrong. All I'm saying is in 50 years we'll know. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I will say this. Another thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way on this aspect is like this, man. Sometimes you don't have to tell the truth, bruh. Lie, bruh. Lie. You want to know why? Because there's other people we got to sign. If your girl asks you, you meet a girl for the first time, y'all on your first date, have you ever cheated on anybody? What's your answer?
Hell no.
No. Right. Cowboy, man.
Black men don't cheat.
Cowboy fans don't cheat, bruh. Cowboy fans don't cheat. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You is not about to go up in there and tell her the God honest truth. Why? Because what does it benefit them to know the truth?
Right.
What does it benefit the NFL to know that we cut players because our owner don't like them? Mm-hmm. What does that benefit you, bruh?
Mm-hmm. If anything, it's negative.
Because I see the chat there saying, "Well, he needs to be a team player." Well, let's spin it like this.
Go ahead,
right?
Speak on that.
What if it was Micah Parsons say, "You know what? I'm a rookie, but I don't believe in getting vaccinated." What happens in that case? Is there an issue? Nope. Nope. Nah, Derek. Because we've seen it. We're currently seeing it right now. What the Cowboys are willing to stand by and protect if they feel some type of attachment for you.
Facts.
You know, so like I'm not going to get into the details, but they'll stand by some BS that really puts your team, the organization, the brand in jeopardy if they have some type of attachment to you. Amari Cooper was never kind of the Cowboys guy. He was a rental that they brought in because it was a break-in case emergency. Things fell through. They brought him in. They paid him because they had no really choice. I've been saying this frequently, y'all. If the Cowboys knew that they were getting CeeDee Lamb in that draft, Amari Cooper would have been gone, you know, in 2020. But they signed him. All of a sudden, CeeDee Lamb just kind of fall into their lap. They do that, and then the gears started spinning. All right, there's a way we can get out of this contract in 2022 and move on from him and just wipe your hands clean. So I'm not buying the vaccination. I'm not buying the situation that he was a locker room distraction. I'm not buying anything the Cowboys are selling, except the fact they just wasn't tied to Amari Cooper.
And guess and think about this. The reason why that is so factually true is because you have people on this team that have less value than Amari Cooper, who have been in situations where you could have gotten away with them and you didn't. So it's like, you know, that's why I say when people be like, oh man, you know, I be on social media all the time and people be like, oh man, this is a dumb video. I ain't have to say nothing. I be like, well, listen, man, obviously you felt something about the video because there's dumb videos on the internet all day that you look at and don't even say anything. So if you comment on our video, it did something to you. It did something to you. You know what I'm saying? Because there's millions of stuff that you don't comment on every day. You look at it and like, that's stupid. I'm not commenting on that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like also when you look at how the NFL is set up, man, social media, bruh, this is something that went viral today, right? So if you were a free agent, upcoming free agent, you may just be like, damn, that's effed up, right? But then in 2 years from now, when you're on the free agent blocks of the world and you're looking at teams, you're looking at and you be like, okay, I got the Chargers, I got the damn, not the Cowboys.
Right.
Not the Cowboys. Hey, man, you remember they did to Amari Cooper? Yeah, I remember they did to Amari Cooper. Hell yeah, I know what they did to Amari Cooper.
Right.
But you know, that's a pattern of stuff they do. They always trash their players in the media, then wonder why they can never get top free agents. Because they just dragged their quarterback for over a year.
Right.
In the contract disputes. He was everything but a child of God. You know, he was unworthy of his contract. He was going to cripple the team, all this and that. And but then you expect to attract these big name free agents to come and sign for less money at that.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
And when the problem is when players actually leave Dallas and they tell Cowboys fans what goes on in that locker room, Cowboys fans just view him as being disgruntled, right?
Facts.
Oh, he's just hating. He's like, no, they're telling you the issue. Like, when Cheeto comes out and says he can just focus on football, he's saying that he doesn't have to be all corporate. He doesn't have to be just buttoned up because in Dallas, you have to be corporate. I always give the scenarios like some people like a corporate job where you wear a suit and tie, take a briefcase to work every day. Some people just like to go outside and work on construction. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different strokes for different people, and not everyone.
Some people
fits that
don't want a
mold.
camera in their freaking face.
Yeah,
bro.
they don't want a camera in their
you.
face. They won't want to be political correct all the damn time. They just want to go out there, be themselves, and play football. And that's just never Dallas. Like, you'll never see the Cowboys come out with a boombox like Deebo Samuel did with the 49ers. Like, Jerry would axe that so damn quick because that's just not how they carry themselves. Like, it's just, you got to be more corporate. Dak is the perfect example of that. Like, Dak just comes, says the right things, does his job, and then that's the way he survives in Dallas. But the moment that you get out of bounds and start trading a little bit and saying a little bit, you're out. So,
yeah, man. And, you know, the Cowboys, man, one thing I say about the Cowboys is like, you have this allure of, the Cowboys, always, being, we had this rumor, this big thing of the Cowboys always being the, Jerry's going to pay, Jerry's going to this. And we've lived off that for so long. But I'm going to be honest with you, man, like, for the here time here, like that has not been the case. That has not been the case. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, a lot of the stuff that we are living on, this is stuff that was happening in the 90s, man. But if you really think about it, Jerry really hasn't just been like, F it, we just going to ball out and just pay. We have not done that.
Right.
We haven't done that in a long time. And if you really think about how we got Amari Cooper, yeah, we gave up a first-round pick, but, bro, he was really a diminishing player when we went after him. That's how he was viewed. I'm not going to say that. He was viewed as a diminishing player. Amari Cooper got a resurgence when he came to the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm. He did.
And the cool thing about it is the Cleveland Browns are getting a better player. They're getting a better player.
Right.
Amari Cooper is looked at as a totally different receiver than what he was in Dallas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just had a few people. My guy G Herb, he does the Cleveland Browns podcast down there in Cleveland, and they're ecstatic about getting Amari Cooper. Like he was like joking, like, "Damn, Tuck, I should hit your cash out because we stole him from you." And I was like, "Bro, y'all really did for a 5th round pick." But people in Cleveland are happy about getting Amari Cooper and pairing him with the thoughts of Deshaun Watson, like because he's a dynamic wide receiver. He can play the game of football. He can bring some type of aspect to your offense that not a lot of wide receivers can do. And so it's just like he gets a knock on him, but that's what you said, bro. Like they'll skew you out, make you look like public enemy number one. A lot of the fan base will buy, he quit in games, or some narrative I heard that he doesn't show up in the cold weather or whatnot. They'll buy it, and they can sell us the new product, and then he just goes on from there. So that's just not the Cowboys way. But like you said, Wes, free agents see that. It's like, man, I can go to Dallas, but do I really need the bright lights of Dallas? It's not like they just win in Super Bowls at the Super Bowls. Hell, I'll just take this cheap deal and go to the Rams, and play with them. I'll be free in the locker room. I can do my thing, have my own swag, just focus on, football and put myself in a situation to win a championship possibly and play with Aaron Donald and, Jalen Ramsey and those types of personalities and be cool versus going to Dallas and just being buttoned up, can't say nothing, can't speak, can't. So it's like, it's a different era right now with athletes, and they're waking up, but the star in Dallas isn't as bright as some people think.
Facts, man. Hey, Henny, I want to know. I want you to talk about this a little bit. What are your thoughts on the folks that kind of? And we're gonna after we talk about this, we're gonna shift gears just a little bit because I think we spend a lot of time talking about Amari Cooper and the loss of Amari Cooper, 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 but I'm going to tell you this right here. There's another guy, if you really want to think about it, the Cowboys really lost their number 1 and their number 3 wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? Because you lost Amari Cooper and you lost Cedric Wilson. Now, I honestly, you guys know, I'm a fan of CeeDee Lamb. Like, I don't want nobody to think that I'm not a fan of CeeDee Lamb because I am a fan of CeeDee Lamb. But I will say this. I believe, as much as I believe there's a delta between CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, but I believe that CeeDee Lamb can make up the delta. I believe he is a player with talent, with time, he can make up that delta. My issue is I don't know who makes up the delta for my 3rd receiver, let alone my 4th receiver. Because the Cowboys was once an offense that toted to having 3 receivers that could have 1,000 yards. So that means that you had possibly 3 receivers that were actually good. Mm-hmm. So my question is, okay, you got CeeDee Lamb replaced. Good. All right, he's your Amari Cooper. Who now becomes your CeeDee Lamb? Who is your young budding receiver who has potential? Because remember, you're just not replacing CeeDee Lamb as in like, oh yeah, he's just going to catch a couple balls. You're actually replacing a guy who's supposedly supposed to be a number one at some point. You know what I mean? So you need to replace talent with talent. That's the real question I want to know.
Well, man, as the roster is currently constructed, I couldn't actually tell you who the 2 or the 3 is supposed to be, because when you look at it, there's way too many unknowns. James Washington, while he is a veteran receiver, he was not very good in Pittsburgh. He's never been a 1,000-yard receiver. He's never had double-digit touchdowns. He was a fringe third, fourth receiver in Pittsburgh. Now, granted, Ben Roethlisberger was getting up there in age. They had some issues with the line at different points. But still, he did not produce. He did not live up to, with the product he put out on tape in college. Because when you come out of college, he was looked at as one of the best receivers in
He was a Blitchnikov winner. He was a Blitchnikov winner, so he was definitely looked at as one of the best.
Yes, so he has not lived up to that. Then we talk about a guy like Jalen Tolbert who has the tape. He showed up against Tennessee. I know he played at a very small school, but when he did play better competition, they didn't stop him. He still was the best receiver for his program. Plus, he played with a very, very subpar quarterback. So, with all that in mind, he has talent. He has skill set. He is 6'1", 6'2", does have true 4.4 speed. But this man is a third-round rookie from a small school still. I know I said all that, but those are still the facts. He has never played. Hold that thought.
Go ahead. Hey, you know what? It's all good. Tuck, kind of pick up on that, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I exactly what he was saying. Like, I feel like there's a lot of unknowns outside of CeeDee Lamb, right? Now, we did kind of hear Stephen Jones kind of allude to it today in the press conference, but you got to take it with a grain of salt because we've all been talking about this, possibly Tony Pollard being involved in the passing game a little bit more, but that still remains to be unseen. So it's going to be interesting to see how Kellen Moore can get creative with this offense. But, I think Jalen Tolbert will eventually be able to step in and fill that void. But the way that our schedule is constructed, Wes, is like we can't afford to get off to a slow start. So Jalen Tolbert has to be pretty much CeeDee Lamb out the gate, and it's like because you're going to need him because you don't have Michael Gallop. And so it really forces us in a bad situation because, like I said on our Super Show the other night, if you look at the offense is constructed, right? Tampa Bay is no fool. All right, you got CeeDee Lamb over here. He got Dalton Schultz, who's kind of your, middle range tight end, but he's really not a deep threat, right? I'm going to stack the box and take away the pass or the run game and force you to prove it with these unproven guys first. And if that happens, okay, cool. Then we'll back up. But they're going to sit there and force you to beat them with Jalen Tolbert, James Washington, possibly Noah Brown, TJ Vash, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Which concerns me is that Kellen Moore is going to see those stacked boxes and be like, all right, we're going to take and get to being more pass heavy. So it's really going to rely on Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy to be creative when it comes to the offense. But that was always our strongest point coming into the season. Why was I beating on my chest last year? Because I had that three-headed monster and Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, and Amari Cooper. Like, I had the best wide receiver core in the NFL. I put that against Kansas City. But you take that away from me, it's like, I don't know. It's like if you take Derrick Henry away from the Titans, or right now what's going on in Kansas City, when you take Tyreek Hill, their offense is going to look completely different. And teams are going to play you differently than you're accustomed seeing. So there's a lot of unknowns when it comes to our offense and our wide receiver core. So,
yeah, and you also, you also got to think like this, man. Like, I think too oftenly we get into this mindset of like, oh, they're not the best person in the league. They're not the this in the league. They're not the that in the league. But the question really needs to start being is like, yo, it doesn't matter where these guys stack up in the league. It's a matter of where they stack up on your team. Like, an example is Julio Jones, man. Like, a lot of folks was like, a lot of people were literally like, because I ain't gonna lie, like when people first brought up Julio Jones to me, I was more like, bro, give me Dez Bryant. You know what I'm saying? At least he gonna score touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? But I get it. Dez don't play. He ain't playing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, all right, you know what? I can get behind. I might be able to get behind this. I might actually be able to get behind this. This Julio Jones. I get back behind it for about 2 solid weeks, and then everybody's we're feeling him. We're this. I think he could be a good third receiver. Blase. And then you get an alert on your phone that said he is now going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and all of a sudden he sucks. He sucks. He's washed up. He'll never finish the season.
Well, hey man, you know how guys try to chop a female down, they get shot down that she holds and ugly now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man. Like I'm just saying, man. Like the same Julio Jones, and I mean, this is the thing. Like just being real. Like if I told you, I did an experiment earlier today. I said, man, listen, man. Everybody put their third string receiver name in the comment box right now. Put it in the comment box. You know what I'm saying? Who is that? Noah Brown. Okay. Is Noah Brown better than Julio Jones? That's the question you should be asking. That's the only question you should be asking. You know what I'm saying? Can Julio Jones come in here and be possibly better than your number 2 receiver? Possibly. Possibly.
Yeah, especially until Gallop comes back.
Facts.
Yeah.
And if you just look at it, man, like you can't really judge Julio Jones off of what you saw last year in Tennessee, because just look at the basics. Derrick Henry was averaging 27 rush attempts a game while he was there. So they were a very run oriented offense. So those numbers last year, he had the lowest yards per game of his career, 43.4. He had the lowest targets of his career and the lowest receptions. But what did not change, he still had a catch percentage of 64.6%, which is which is the same as his career, which is 64.6%. So when they actually threw him the ball, he still caught it. The only difference is they hardly threw him the ball. He only had 48 targets on the year. In 10 games, that's only 4 targets. That's only about 4 targets a game. There has never been a season where Julio Jones had 100 targets and did not end with at least 1,100 yards. And then he's going to a situation. The Bucs, they passed the ball more than anybody else in the league last year. They led the league in pass attempts per game at like 44. So, why that's really one of the reasons I wanted him to come to Dallas, because Kellen Moore has always been a top 10 pass attempt guy since he's been in the league. He's never been outside of the top 10. We averaged almost 40 pass attempts ourselves last year. We averaged like 39.8 or 38.9. So we were throwing the ball almost 40 times a game. He would have fit perfectly in. He would have had adequate attempts to be productive, especially with Michael Gallup not being there, for probably 8 games maybe with that injury. So he would have worked in Dallas. But I don't want people to, now that he's a Buccaneer, to just say he watched, especially we have to play this man week 1. It doesn't matter. Anything else, he's going to be healthy going into the season week 1, and we're going to have to hope that either Trayvon Diggs or Anthony Brown can stay with him down the field.
And there's just one thing that a lot of people keep forgetting: injuries.
Exactly.
Everyone like, bro, we haven't even started camp yet. We are one hamstring tweak away in camp with our wide receiver core for it getting dark. So it's just like,
and think about this: if an injury happens, you will have to. Like there isn't even like we can kind of think about we're gonna let this guy try an opportunity. No, man. Nah, bruh. Nah.
But now the talent pool has been depleted. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, because you waited so long. Let's say, for instance, knock on wood, if wide receiver 2 or 3 has a hamstring, has a calf issue, might be delayed with their process, like, then what are you really going to do?
I mean, let's go even further. What happens if CeeDee Lamb gets nicked? What does your
I didn't want to even put that in there. I didn't want to put that.
Yeah, I know. Let's stay away from CeeDee.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, if CeeDee Lamb gets nicked up, that is almost like a season-ending situation.
Right.
And it's a sad thing about it because he's not even Dak.
Yeah. Right. And this is the thing though. If that were to happen last year, because even if Amari Cooper had got nicked last year, we still had a very deep wide receiving core. We still had CeeDee Lamb, still had Michael Gallup, Cedric Wilson, and Malik Turner. All these guys that were capable playmakers on the team that could keep the team afloat until Amari Cooper got back. Now your number 1 receiver goes down. You don't even have Michael Gallop to start the season.
Right.
So you're gonna be going in the battle with James Washington and Jalen Tolbert and Noah Brown and TJ Vasher, who has more drip than he has game tape.
And I mean, this is the thing, man. Like, I think Cowboy fans are a little frustrated simply because it's like you won 12 games last year, bruh. And I'm gonna tell you this right here: Jerry Jones felt really good about those 12 games, man. Too damn good about them 12 games, bro. Like, just too damn good. And I wanted
powder.
Yeah, man. And I low key was like thinking, like, bro, if you feel this good about 12 games, then what you think 13 games gonna make you feel?
14.
14 games.
This is a 17-game season.
Bro, but my thing is this. How are you saying that, going to the playoffs and doing something in the playoffs is the requirement? You're saying that to Mike McCarthy. I know Mike McCarthy. I would have loved to know what Mike McCarthy was really thinking that whole interview, bro.
Right.
Because I know he was thinking like, bro, okay, you want us to be performable in the playoffs, but then you get rid of Amari Cooper, you can get rid of this, that, and the other.
Right.
Player. Like, what? And then they asked you if you're going to extend me, and you went just like this with your hand out to the camera and said,
right,
no. He didn't give no example, no explanation, no nothing. No explanation, no nothing. Just nope. Nope.
I gotta love it, man. Because honestly, that's why I dove into the draft coverage so quick last year, because I felt like, all right, 12-5, few pieces gonna get us over the hump. So I was already on the hunt, but I didn't think that we was gonna completely just deplete our roster and have to build from scratch. I was like, God damn, man. Because think how we would feel right now. We had, Michael Gallup is going to be out, but CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper returning. Then you toss in Jalen Tolbert. Then you toss in Tyler Smith. Like, all right, you feeling a little bit better. Like, all right, we replaced Cedric Wilson pretty much with Jalen Tolbert, who has tremendous upside. Once Michael Gallup returns, that's going to be more firepower. Our offensive line has improved. You could have really did those things, but you're leaning on this rookie class heavily out the gate. And Stephen Jones just said it today in the press conference. That's just their new focus. Like, they don't care really about free agency. The most part is the young guys getting an opportunity to play, the rookie class getting an opportunity to play. So you're playing with a bunch of just young kids just hoping. And I said this last year, y'all. Last year was the worst thing that ever happened to Dallas Cowboys because it actually worked. They found the J-Ron curse. People forget, though Malik Hooker was signed, they went with DeMonte KZ over Hooker and just got lucky that Hooker was still available when we got to camp. You know what I'm saying? You had the Keanu O'Neal thing. So you hit on Micah Parsons. You hit on Osa Digizua. So their ego is saying, we can do it again. I can find another J-Ron curse.
They hit on Dak, bro. They hit on Dak.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is, like, Dak is the Instagram filter for the ugly chick. Like, he makes everything just look better as long as you have Dak out there. But it's like, I'm not focusing on a team that can contend. I focus on a team that can contend for actual championship. As of right now, the way the roster is constructed, I feel like we'll be a cool team. But what are we doing that shows the fan base that we're going all in to win a championship? Not just to beat the Eagles, not to beat the Giants, all in to win the Super Bowl, and none of the moves have stated that this offseason.
Yeah, man. Go ahead, Henny.
No, I was just saying, because, like, there's a lot of offense missing. They sold tickets last year of being the number one offense in the NFL, right? They were the whole thing. They're going to throw the ball all around the yard. They're going to put up numbers. Everybody talk about Team 50 Burger. Okay.
Damn, what happened to that?
It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah. Yes. Give me Q a little 20 on 21.
We may not score 25 points with the way this offense is constructed right now. So you got to think about it. Between the three guys, Amari Cooper ain't coming back. Cedric Wilson ain't coming back. Michael Gallup probably be back halfway through the season. That's 227 targets that they had last year. So who are they going to throw the ball to? Who going to take up the rest of the 227 targets?
I mean, on any team other than the Dallas Cowboys, I'm 100% saying the Dallas Cowboys are going to run the ball this year. If this was the Jacksonville Jaguars, if this was the Patriots, if this was anybody, bro, other than the Dallas Cowboys, I would say they're going to run the ball a lot this year. That's what I would say. But the thing that kind of hurts me about the Cowboys is, man, Ben DiNucci threw the ball 40 times, bro. Garrett Gilbert threw the ball like 38 times, bro. These are all dudes in their very first game, man. The circumstance did not change what Kellen Moore did. It didn't change it. It didn't change it.
Right. And so why not build off that firepower? Because what a lot of people don't understand, not only how the wide receiver core impacted our offense, but also our defense, right? Because we said it before a show, our run defense was not good last year.
Facts.
But what really saved our run defense is when we were getting up by 20 points early, and then you really couldn't run the ball anymore. But the teams that really just came out the gate, ran the ball, controlled the clock, those games were a lot tougher last season. But if we're not able to strike just like that offensively, it puts our defense in a bad situation as far as the run game is concerned, because teams are going to want to get out there with victories, do the ground and pound, move the chains, and get out there with wins. So, it changed a lot. Like I said, we lost our firepower. Like, that was the one thing that always kept me optimistic as a Cowboys fan. All right, I got my quarterback, I got my wide receivers, we good, But now that that's been taken away from me, I would be lying to y'all, and y'all know we keep it real, to be like, oh, I got faith in James Washington. James Washington's going to be just as good as Amari Cooper.
Of course not.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that would be
too, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's a huge difference.
He's not even built like Cooper at all. He's a big dude.
It's just I don't know. So we'll have to see. A lot of it's going to come down to Kellen Moore. Like maybe he's need to strip those weapons away to show his full versatility. We shall see, but I don't know, Cowboys Nation.
Cowboys lost a Lamborghini and a Porsche, and they trying to replace it with a Honda and an Altima.
Right. Facts.
Hey, man, and, this is not to – and I think this is just the one thing I like about training camp, man, is like this, man. It's like for all y'all that's want to believe, it's about to get real. It's like it's about to get real, man. Like, it's about to get real. They about to have helmets and shoulder pads in what's today, the 26th? In 4 days, they're going to have 5 days, they're going to have helmet and shoulder pads on. And I'm going to tell you one thing I did like about what Stephen Jones said, and I'm going to tell you two things that I heard today. I know you guys, not saying you guys, but I know the Cowboys fans have sold you on the fact that they have faith in this wide receiver room, but I don't think they really do. You know what I'm saying? Because the comment that they made about Stephen Jones made about having money still in the bank to fix the team and stuff, and to make moves and things like that. Cowboys did this for this same thing you brought up on Malik Hooker. Cowboys kind of did the same thing with the safety room we went into. Well, I mean, we didn't know who our safety was for the last 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But this past camp, we were specifically going into games thinking like, oh my God, who's going to be our safety? Who's going to be our safety, right? And then, you know what I'm saying, the Cowboys waited a little bit. They didn't, they kind of jumped the gun, I believe, because I think Jaron Kearse was doing his thing enough for them to play him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But, I digress. What did the Cowboys did? They went out and signed Malik Hooker. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think I think the question this year should be is who is going to be the Malik Hooker of this year? Like, who is going to be that you know what I'm saying, that free agent? And to be honest with you, unfortunately, if you're looking for a wide receiver, like my boy Tuck said, it's getting slim pickings out here.
Right.
But
man, it's dried up. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah,
Your top wide receiver that probably is T.Y. Hilton right now. Antonio Brown.
You don't need a T.Y. Hilton. You don't need an Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown can play on the outside, but man, them dudes gonna play on the inside. You have enough inside dudes, bro.
Right.
AJ Green, if you want to take a look at him, see if he can stay healthy throughout the season.
If you're okay with AJ Green, you should have been okay with Julio Jones.
Right.
Say it's real slim pickings, man.
But I'm gonna tell you something else that they kind of,
Cole Beasley.
He said he will come back and play with that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So yeah, you got Emmanuel Sanders, you got Cole Beasley, T.Y. Hilton, Will Fuller.
But see, think about this. Now you're in the area of guys who are probably not who could probably get beat out by another guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's almost like you're signing a guy just because you're signing a guy. Odell Beckham, I don't know when he's coming back.
Right.
We already got a guy that ain't finna play, so he will not help at all.
They're not gonna
go ahead.
They're not gonna go to Sean Jackson, so it's just like then it just drops off. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they waited too long.
Like exactly.
Yeah, the guy that you need is probably on somebody else's team right now.
Yeah,
right.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I think the best available, that you're gonna be not even best available. You're going to have to go trade for somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where you know what I'm saying? Now, Micah Thomas, that's a conversation we ain't never had before. But I like.
Yeah, it's true. He is starting the season on the pup.
He is. But you know what? Randy Gregory is too. They starting him he's starting on the pub too. You know what I'm saying? But they said that Denver said that they're still hopeful that he's going to be ready for week 1 though. But one guy I do believe the Cowboys haven't announced it yet, and I'm actually kind of surprised is Michael Gallop, man. Seeing him getting off the bus today. Cowboys have yet to decide, or not. You know what? I ain't gonna say that. The Cowboys have yet to announce if they're gonna be putting him on the PUP, because they probably could have already decided, but they just haven't, just actually pulled the trigger on it yet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But just to kind of switch, we've been on here for about 45 minutes. I want to switch over to we've been talking about defense we've been talking about offense for a little bit. We kind of going back and forth, man. There's a subject that I think Jerry Jones kind of talked about, and it's kind of like, the expectations for this year, man. And Jerry Jones, he said something that, irritated me always. Jerry Jones always irritated me, but, he says this statement all the time, man, about how, if there's a certain amount of money that I could spend, if there's a certain amount of money I could spend, I would spend it to guarantee me a championship. And then it's so funny because as soon as he says that, he backs it up with this statement about, salary cap is this, and we have money available, but that money is also good for next year too. And I just want to know, what are y'all thoughts, man, when you hear the owner of your organization talking about next year on the first day of training camp?
I mean, man, like, I feel like he's not all in to win this year. There's nothing promised. You know what I'm saying? Like, there may not even be a season next year. The world could end for all we know. So I would prefer you worry about this year's team, put the best team humanly possible on the field.
And financially.
And best team financially possible on the field. And, next year's team will get sorted out by next year's coaching staff, because you may not even have the same guys there.
What's your thoughts, Chuck?
Yeah, and I think the frustrating part was how he opened up camp, right? He talked about all the people that he lost this year. So you would think something would register in Jerry Jones, like, man, life is short. I should go all in. You would think so, but like everything when you hear the Cowboys,
and then he started crying. Remember, he started crying.
He got to shed the ceremonial, Jerry Jones tears for camp. Right. But, he thought about it. He spoke about it hard. Like, hey, life is short. Think about, all the people we lost. But then you sit back and you're talking about 3 years from now. You're talking about 2 years from now. Like, everything is futuristic when the Cowboys come to speak, besides the payments for these tickets this year. So it's like, I can't put on a payment plan and just pay for my tickets and fully pay for this season 4 years from now. I had to have that payment due in March. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So it's like, that's the frustration from us Cowboys fans. We want to win now, but the organization isn't telling us that they are in the same sentiments with us. Like, we want a championship. Do things to win a championship. And when you say there's nothing that, no amount of money that you wouldn't spend, well, when you spend money and you go acquire players like the Rams did, it enhances your chances. It doesn't guarantee it, but it enhances. You know what I'm saying? So when Tampa Bay won that Super Bowl, whoever Tom Brady said he wanted, they just went and got. Facts. They went and did it. He built up the grocery list. They went shopping for him and built that team for him to help put him in the best situation to help him win. But I feel like when it comes to the Cowboys, if Dak was to come out and say, you know what, I want Julio Jones, they would ignore it. You know what I'm saying? How many players have partnered with Micah Parsons, said, Von Miller said, you know what, I wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy, but not for that price. Like, they just won't push all their chips in. And it's clear as day. Everything that they're thinking about right now, sacrificing this season for the signing of Trayvon Diggs. They're thinking about that contract. They're talking about Micah's contract. They're talking about CeeDee Lamb's contract. Like, they're already thinking futuristic and saving money for that when it can come to really helping us team win this year. And that's the frustrating thing when it comes to Cowboys fans, because we know how the cap can fluctuate. It's going to grow. You can maneuver. Look what the Saints did. Everyone talked about how the Saints was in cap hell. Boom, they're right out of it. So right now we got $23 million of cap space. That's for next year.
Exactly.
They made the team worse with the moves that they made.
Right.
You can talk about it the entire show. You lost really your most versatile wide receiver in Amari Cooper, who was your best route runner, still was the leading touchdown receiver on your team. You lost Cedric Wilson. He was another 600-yard guy, caught 5 touchdowns, can also pass the ball. So you lost your gadget guy for the trick plays. So you can, and then if you really look at it, I don't think you really did an adequate job of addressing your center position or your guard.
Right.
So what am I supposed to bank on this season?
Hope.
I was gonna say optimism. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say optimism.
Blind optimism. Blind optimism. That's what it really is, and just like, And if here's how I tell people, right? So, we're in the media, right? So we have to see it from a different perspective. But let's take us out of it. We're not a Cowboys fan. I'm a Kansas City Chiefs reporter. Would I be high on the Dallas Cowboys this season? Absolutely not.
No,
of course.
And that's what, but, people see us because we got the Cowboys. Like, we got to be optimistic about that. But they've done nothing to show improve. So when I see power rankings come out and I see all these articles come out about how the Cowboys could slide this year, what can I stand on besides me being a passionate Cowboys fan and saying that's not true? That's just where we're at, so.
Well, I mean, these guys got to be out of touch when they said that the Cowboys had the 4th best offensive line in football. Like,
right.
23rd. Look, they were the 23rd pass blocking unit and the most penalized unit in football. So they can't block nobody, and they got a hole half the time. So we're supposed to think they're the best unit. Now they were a top run blocking unit, but we barely ran the ball. What's good is that?
Right.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna tell you something. He did drop some jewels in this press conference that were very, very interesting. One thing that he did say about, he mentioned a hole in he not even say hole. He actually said the youth in the wide receiver room. He said the youth in the wide receiver room, and the name that he used to kind of make himself feel better was one Tony Pollard. What are you guys' thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys still to this? Now, obviously, we got to physically see it with our eyes. Then when we physically see it with our eyes, we got to actually physically see it in a game. You know what I'm saying? So I know there's levels to this. But what are you guys' thoughts about Tony Pollard helping out these wide receivers in the wide receiver room? Where do you think Tony Pollard needs to play in 2022?
It's going to – go ahead.
I was going to say he should have been a slot receiver.
Right.
Because just looking at what he did, what he put on tape as come out of Memphis, most return touchdowns in NCAA history. He was a 4.3 speed guy. And if you actually look at the numbers, he really wasn't carrying the ball like that. Because I broke down the numbers, it was like he barely had 100 carries in 3 years. So how's that a running back? Yeah. He was never really a running back. He was a return guy, and he played more slot than anything. And historically, guys that come in that are return specialists are usually wide receivers. So I never understood why the Cowboys would want to put their most dynamic player
behind the line of scrimmage.
Behind the line of scrimmage, having to dodge defensive tackles and linebackers when all he has to do is catch the ball in the open field. One guy missed, he is a house call most of the times. So I never actually understood that. But I'm happy that 3 years later, when he's going to come up on a contract year, he's finally going to get to show his stuff. He's going to play his way right out of Dallas, but if it can help us this year, I'm down for it.
But that's exactly it. I'm going to be excited for it, but it's going to piss me off because we've been saying this since the moment we drafted that Tony Pollard can be used as a wide receiver and a versatile running back. And they're going to wait until his contract year. He's going to have an incredible season. We're going to be sitting back this time this year, but how do we move on from Tony Pollard? All we did was, we got a comp pick for him. They couldn't sign him, but they're going to get another. They're gonna get another guy in the draft, though.
Oh my God,
that can come in and fill that void.
Hey, oh my God, bro! You just took it out of my head, bro. That's exactly what they're gonna do. Pump and dump. And to be honest with you, the reason why Tony's gonna get the ball this year is to elevate his comp pick status. That's it, man. That's it. Mm-hmm. Because think about this: if you think they really want Tony Pollard, you know what they'll do? They'll sign him during the season,
right?
Because that's when the cheapest is gonna be. But they're not. Why would you let Tony Pollard go out to the open market? And I'm gonna tell you this right here. For them to save $23 million, bro, you don't need $23 million for Tony Pollard. So miss me on who are you saving the money for, bro? Micah Parsons, you drafted him in the first round for a reason. Why? 5th-year option, CeeDee Lamb, 5th-year option.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you this right here. They're gonna lie to us and say, "Oh, guys, we're gonna sign. We got all these people to sign. And you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna make CeeDee Lamb play on his 5th-year option.
Right.
So you're not even going to have to sign him for 2 years from now. Micah Parsons is 4 years away from a contract.
Right. So who's coming up next year? We're rolling this $24 million over. Who is this going to?
Because, bro, they're not signing. Listen to me, Cowboy fans. I know you guys are saying Diggs, but they're not going to sign him early. I promise you they're not.
They should, but they're not.
They're not.
They're not going to.
Diggs will play on the tag before he's signed early.
Facts. Facts.
Yeah. Yeah, you see the cornerback market right now. This thing is booming right now.
That's another star receiver you paying for. How much you gonna get?
Yeah. Diggs will get tagged before they sign him early.
And then guess what that means? 5th year. So then theoretically, you got what, 2 more years before you even got to talk about Diggs' contract. And to be honest with you, at that point, after a franchise tag, you know what they're gonna do? The same thing they did to Byron Jones. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
People talking about, oh my God, Diggs and his brother could be great. I'm like, yeah, on the Buffalo Bills.
Right.
Like, stop saying that, y'all. Stop saying that. Diggs wants to play with his brother. Yeah, on the Buffalo Bills. Because that will never happen in Dallas, bro.
And it's frustrating. It's frustrating that we can see the writing on the wall with this team already. Like, as soon as Michael Gallup signed this deal, I know, okay, 2 years, he's gone. You know? And so that's what I'm saying. They ran off with the church money. So if I'm DeMarcus Lawrence, why did I restructure my contract? Y'all said it was to sign my partner, Randy Gregory. Y'all botched that. Where's my money go? That's why I was proactive. Like, just give it to Dalton Schultz. That way I can, like, all right, well, it was for, you know what I'm saying? Give it to somebody. Don't just sit on it.
Facts.
Same thing with Dalton Schultz. You could at least save some money. He wouldn't be playing for $10 million.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Because here's the thing, they're gonna tag Dalton Schultz again next year. Watch,
dumbass, and he gonna sign it.
Dumbass. Yeah. Someone just said they're never proactive. They're always reactive. They wait till the price goes all the way up. To be $1 billion franchise, they always buy at the highest peak versus buy on the upswing. And they should be investors.
And then think about this, Tuck. I know it pissed Jerry Jones off in 2022 to be talking about a Dak Prescott contract. Well, guess what, bruh? When you don't do it right, that's what happens.
Right.
Because technically, Dak could get re-signed next year.
Right.
You need to realistically, and to be honest with you, that's who the money's going to go to.
You think?
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. I mean, right now, and they talked about that for a long time, talked about the fluctuating quarterback market. Because Lamar still ain't got paid. Joe Burrows will be able to get paid after next year.
Justin Herbert.
Like, bruh, that's 3 guys right there. You only need 2 to push the market.
Right. Yeah, the market's going up. The quarterbacks, yeah.
And then I'm going to tell you guys this right here. If Dak wins the Super Bowl like y'all want him to, he's going to be a $50 million quarterback.
So the out on Dak's contract is 2024. He'll be $39 million towards the cap.
They ain't gonna get rid of him. They just gonna restructure him. I think
they're gonna restructure that.
I think they're gonna do a whole new contract like they did with DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah, they'll restructure.
But I mean, when Travis Fredericks retired, we got $7.5 million in free money, and we never spent it on anything. Like right now, they're literally just trying. They're just like they are collecting money, man. Because there is nobody on offense. There's nobody on defense that will ever cost you as much as Dak. There is nobody on offense on defense who will never listen to me. There's nobody on this team that will ever cost you as much as Dak. There's nobody on this team that will ever cost you as much as Amari Cooper. There's nobody on this team that will ever cost you as much as DeMarcus Lawrence. Nobody, bruh. Trevon Diggs is but it really goes to how a team values interceptions. Because there's no guarantee that he's going to get this super top bag either.
Right.
Because it's really going to come down to that, because I'm seeing corners who are top paid corners who don't have interceptions like him.
Right.
So it's like if Trevon Diggs gets 7-8 interceptions this year, bro, how do you pay a dude with 24 interceptions in 3 years? You're not going to make him the highest paid person in football.
Right.
You're not going to do that.
Towards their market value. So.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I tell folks, like, man, 2022, man, like, the hope for 2022, man, is like, it's almost like one of them situations where you know your kids is doing wrong, but Lord, just let it work out for us.
Right. Yeah. And that's the crazy thing. When they asked Jerry Jones, like, why does he feel like this team is going to be better than last year's team? And all he said was Mike McCarthy. I'm like, oh, shit, right? Like, Jerry couldn't even
don't call plays.
Yeah, normally, okay, when I'm not optimistic about the season, at least Jerry can kind of sell me a little bit. That man said the man sitting next to me. I said,
Mike McCarthy. That's who he's putting his hope in. Go ahead.
The worst situational coach in the league.
Right.
Faith in him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's this is what we gonna do, man. Training camp starts off tomorrow, man. This is what we gonna do, man. We gonna erase everything in our heads right now. We gonna erase everything in our heads, and we gonna go back to being a fan.
I would love to have the Men in Black neuralizer, man. Someone just flash me, and I'm just, Cowboys, we them boys, just not knowing nothing. Because I tell you, there's so many Cowboys fans have no idea,
no clue,
and they just go to the games, have a good time, have drinks and stuff, and because they'll be asking me like, "Who's that dude?" Like, oh yeah, that's Cedric Wilson.
I can't wait. I can't wait to the first. I thought Cooper was here. I can't wait to that.
Oh yeah. Wait, when we get that first down, no one's chanting "Coop." What happened? Where's Lyle? We're like, yeah, man. You ain't paying attention.
Now on the Lyle thing.
Lyle's currently recovering.
Yeah. So I don't.
But you still could have kept him for the depth piece though, because you lose the flexibility of having a swing tackle in Terrence Steele now.
And I'm gonna tell you one room that is guaranteed to have an injury: offensive line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Name me a year where we didn't have one offensive lineman didn't get hurt.
Right.
I can name a year that LVE played every game before I can name you a year of offensive lineman. You got to remember it's 5 dudes, bruh.
Right.
You know
Remember what happened in 2020? How we were playing musical chairs with the offensive line then. Like, we are one Tyron Smith back tightness from just being in chaos mode. Because you could be out there with Matt Waletzko, Tyler Smith, Tyler Biotish, Zach Martin, great, and then Terrence Steele.
And I'm going to tell you this right here. Zach Martin's greatness is diminished when he is like Michael Jackson is not Michael Jackson when, when he's singing with like some random group down the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real.
Too much.
Exactly. Like, Zach Martin don't look like Zach Martin when he's not around guys who can help him be Zach Martin. Like, even Zach Martin's not that good. You know what I'm saying? Right. To compensate from, Terrence Steele is going to help out a little bit, but man, offensive line is about continuity. It's a one unit. They work together. So it's like, if you're not doing your job, I'm literally doing my job and your job. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you create 2 holes. Because Tyler's Biotis' bad play can affect, the play of Zach Martin. Because now when they shoot those gaps, now guess what? Now Zach Martin got to lean over. He got to help out a little bit more instead of him helping out somebody else.
Right.
So, I mean, that's always something you got to look at, man. Hey, man, it's my mom's birthday, man, so we only going to be on for an hour, man.
Happy birthday.
I appreciate it, man. I'm going to let her know. But, hey, Tuck, since you the guest, man, I want to know, before we get up out of here, man, what's your next video on? What you're working on, man? What's your next live on, man? Let them know.
Yeah. So next video, of course, is going to be on camp, man. We're still doing live shows on camp, breaking down camp, but I'm also talking about the camp battles defensively, who I think the roster prediction is going to be. So we'll probably do that Friday, have a few guests on, man. So yeah, like I said, we buckled in, man. We already taking off, so there's no turning back. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, here we go, Cowboys Nation. All we can really do is just root for our team and just hope, some way can pull it out. Now I will say this, I'm a Kansas Jayhawk fan, salute to the national champions. And coming into the season, they didn't have no big name recruits. It was one of the worst rosters pretty much to date. And somehow that team just kind of gelled together, band together, and did it. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan, right? So somehow, some way, they found their ways to the Western Conference final. They got swept.
They ain't trade their best player, though.
Yeah, and their best player, but they still found a way. They still found a way to get there. So maybe it's just our turn. That maybe the Dallas Cowboys are just find a way, man. That's all I really got.
Can I have a better example? Philadelphia 2017. Because Kansas is, you know what I'm saying? Kansas, one thing about Kansas is y'all got good coaches, bro.
Right. Yeah, you got a hell of a good coach. You got
y'all get into the when you get into the coach, and that's one thing about that tournament is like the tournament coaching matters, bro.
Right.
Like when you're playing a game after a game after a game after a game, and you really don't even have time to scout because you don't even know who you're going to play until the team wins or loses, you better have a good ass coach. And if you notice in the tournament, the better coaches go farther.
Yeah. And that's a whole other show we can talk about.
But I'm just being real, and I literally just thought about that on top of my head, bro. Like,
yeah, and that's the thing. Coaching does matter, And I felt like Mike McCarthy was going to give us the coaching edge, but to see how things happen versus San Francisco, for him to come out and say he felt the team was nervous.
Why would you say that? Another situation of why would you say that?
And this thing, if you observed them being nervous, why did you not intervene?
Right.
You are the head coach. Like they be saying, he does not call a single play.
Right.
He does not get involved in the drafting. So what the hell does he do?
What does he do?
And if he can't even manage the game, then what value does he bring to the coaching staff?
He's supposed to be the leader of men, and apparently that's not the case.
And you know what? That's why I don't believe that he's on the hot seat, because we can't even decide what the damn guy does for a living. It's like, I would love to fire him, Tuck, if you tell me what he does. When I fire him, what is he no longer doing?
What Mike McCarthy is, he's the human shield for the front office.
Facts.
When things fall, if things fall through the cracks this year, first point of blame is going to be on Mike McCarthy. Second point of blame will be on Dak Prescott.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
So
facts. Henny dog, hey Henny man, let them know what your next article is and where they can find it, and let me know what's something.
Hey man, it's going to be the same. Training camp is gearing up, so we're going to be talking about what we see overall. Through the training camp film that you send over, we're going to break that down, get through that, and we're just going to go from there. But you can catch me on Twitter, on Facebook, WordPress, all Henny the More. So just tune in. We're going to watch some of these camp battles. I'm really, 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 really want to focus on the offensive line, because I still have my doubts about Tyler Biadasz. I think there should have been a more viable option, at least brought in to push him. But we're going to see what happens.
Well, Connor McGovern is actually going to push them all.
Matt Farniok, it's
hey, listen to me, man. Listen to me. Shout out to the Super Show. But man, we got to do that again, because man, I love all my boys. I love all my guys. I love all of them all, man. But they was wearing me out with them damn offensive linemen, naming all them names. Like, bro, I don't even know who half these dudes is, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The Woo checks and the Watt checks and the Woo checks.
And here's the thing, man. Like
creative players, dog.
And that's the thing. Preseason gonna be important as hell this year, man. Because these players you're gonna be seeing in preseason, they actually gonna be out there on Sunday. So we, what I'm saying, get your roster guide out. Get your, what I'm saying, your media manuals, because you don't need them all, man.
Bro, Tuck, that's why I was screaming so hard on the Super Show, bro. These dudes gotta play, bro. They gotta play, bro. And you have one less preseason game.
Yep.
Like, bro, they got to play. And I'm going to tell you this, my last thing before we get up out of here. If you don't think that Tyron Smith can make it a season, Dro, just bench him until week 5.
Right.
That's what – listen to me. Listen to this idea, bro. If you don't think he can do 17 games, play him when you need him the most. I don't need Tyron Smith in the first 1 through 5, bro. I don't need him then. I need him 6 and pass to the playoffs. So that's my thing. If you, honest to God, right now, do not believe that Tyron Smith can play 17 games, bench him now. Because I don't want him getting hurt versus the Eagles or versus the Boo-ah, Lambs. And now it's week 1, and I'm like, And last thing I say before I say this, but our season at the end of the season is a doozy, bruh. You're going to be paying attention to every game. Like, our season does not turn over. You got Derrick Henry week 17. Like, it's going to get real quick. You feel me?
Right.
It's going to be one thing I will say about this season is, man, it's going to be a very entertaining season, bro. Because every one of these games, bro, I got a question.
I don't know if entertaining the word, man. I think it's going to be a very stressful season because, we suck at stopping the run. We ain't brought nobody in to stop the run, and we play 7 of the top 10 running backs from last year.
Yeah, Cowboys going to defy the odds this year, man. They're going to defy the odds. The only thing that scares me about it is, like, if we were to win a Super Bowl using this formula, man, it's going to be the formula going forward.
Right.
And I feel like we can accidentally win a Super Bowl. Why not? Philadelphia did it.
Right.
They fired everybody and got rid of even the quarterback, bro. So it was an accident. They accidentally won the Super Bowl that year. You know what I'm saying?
Or got rid of the actual quarterback that won it for them before they got rid of the starting quarterback.
Facts. The only thing they got left is the trophy in front of the stadium. But yo, man, it's been love, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Hey, I will be live later on. I'll be live in the morning for the training camp show, and then I'll be live tomorrow night for the training camp recap show with some live footage, man. So make sure you guys continue to turn in, man. I'm West Coast from West Coast Cowboy, man. It's my boy Jay Tuck from Jay Tuck Sports.
CFO Sports.
CFO Sports. And then I got my boy Henny the Horn, man, from Henny the Horn Entertainment and all things Henny Moore, man. So we just appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. And make sure you guys tap in tomorrow. What's up with your OG Bishop? I'm going to have you on here tomorrow, man. We're going to talk a little Cowboy talk, man. And I appreciate y'all. You guys already know what it is. If you know my slogan, put it in the comment box. If you don't, I'm going to tell it to you anyway. Never look down.